Kai's gaze met Liwei's, and without hesitation, he stepped forward, wrapping him in a firm hug that carried both relief and unspoken grief. Pulling back just enough to look into his eyes, he asked what had taken him so long. Liwei's expression remained calm, controlled. But there was a subtle tension in his posture as he said he had business to attend to at the office and asked him how he was doing. Kai's eyes softened with a mix of exhaustion and gratitude as he admitted he was doing his best, that he was the one arranging everything. While Fang was barely contributing, Liwei's presence shifted closer, quiet but commanding, his aura steadying Kai. He assured him not to worry, that he would help him. Kai allowed himself a small, fleeting smile, acknowledging that in this moment, Liwei was the only family who truly cared for him. Liwei held his gaze for a long beat, letting the weight of it hang in the air before snapping back. He told him that he didn't need to thank him. Kai glanced around the room, his attention returning to Liwei, and mentioned that he needed to go find Fang. He left, moving swiftly, leaving Liwei standing for a heartbeat before settling into his chair. May's eyes flicked toward him, her gaze sharp with disdain, but Liwei didn't even acknowledge it. Whispers and murmurs rippled among the guests. Some shook their heads, muttering about him being a womanizer, how it was plastered all over the news, and how someone with his wealth and power used women as if they were disposable. Liwei's jaw tightened, the corner of his mouth twitching with restrained irritation, but he didn't respond. He picked up the memorial programs, scanning them with an almost clinical detachment, his thoughts elsewhere. Meanwhile, Kai entered his father's study papers, and documents were scattered across the floor, and Fang was in the center, tossing items aside as if searching for something critical. Frustration etched itself onto Kai's features. He demanded to know what Fang was doing, reminding him that he was supposed to be helping manage the guests. Fang's gaze flicked up, calm but determined, as he explained he was searching for the contact information of the mastermind who had been assisting their father, the only person he believed could help them finally defeat Liwei and reclaim Eastgate Group. Kai's voice sharpened, cracking with frustration as he reminded Fang that their father had just died. Now was not the time to be obsessed with Liwei or the company. This was the moment to mourn, to pay respects. Yet Fang continued, insisting he didn't understand. Only by taking back Eastgate Group could their father rest in peace. He reminded Kai that he was supposed to be the heir, that he should be sitting in Liwei's position, and he would never allow this to be denied. He swore to fight until Liwei was defeated, no matter the cost. Kai stepped closer, his movements precise, his eyes boring into Fang's. His fist connected sharply with Fang's cheek, a sting of pain radiating through him. Still holding his gaze, Kai's voice was steel as he told Fang that their father was gone, that Fang was the one closest to him, and therefore the one who had to manage all the preparations, not leave it to him while he obsessed over a company that was never theirs. He added that Fang was fortunate Liwei even allowed him to remain in the company, because if it were him, he would have ensured Fang rotted in jail. His tone dropped to a cold, commanding edge as he told Fang to release his obsession and focus on the present, their father, who was now gone. Without waiting for a reply, Kai turned and strode from the room, leaving Fang standing there, hand pressed to his cheek, a storm of anger and humiliation in his eyes. The memorial service continued, voices rising and falling as attendees gave speeches about Liwei's uncle, praising his character, his leadership, and his legacy. Liwei sat quietly, a small, almost ironic chuckle slipping from him as he listened to the adulation, the over-the-top descriptions of his uncle as a saint. The MC stepped forward, asking if anyone else wished to speak. The sound of heels clicking sharply across the floor silenced the room. A woman's voice, calm but resonant, announced that she had something to say. All heads turned as she entered alone, her presence commanding attention, her posture straight, her eyes scanning the crowd like a general entering a battlefield. It was Kai and Fang's mother, moving through the space with a quiet authority that made even the murmurs stop. The room held its breath as she approached, each step deliberate, every motion conveying control and power. Everyone's eyes followed Kai's mother as she made her way to the front, murmurs rippling through the crowd as people questioned why she had appeared so suddenly and how inappropriate it was for her to wear white at such a somber event. May clutched James's hand tightly, and he turned to her. Her gaze was fixed on Kai's mother as if she had seen a ghost. Leaning closer, he asked if she was all right, and she quickly assured him that she was, telling him not to worry. Kai's mother stood at the front, her presence commanding attention. Her eyes swept the room with precision, and she spoke with unflinching honesty. She declared that she was not there to sugarcoat anything, and that a spade should always be called a spade. Her gaze fell on the picture of Kai's father, as she called him a bad person, expressing her disappointment that so many were refusing to speak the truth. She added that he deserved what had come to him, and hoped he was now burning in the depths of hell. Kai immediately stepped forward, telling her that it was inappropriate to say such things in front of everyone, but she turned to him sharply, insisting that he let her finish. Her eyes were like daggers as she addressed the guests, recounting the suffering she had endured at his hands, describing the physical and emotional abuse she had suffered, and declaring that he was the devil. Her gaze landed on May, and she chuckled mockingly, stating that it was embarrassing for some people to even be among the guests, and that they deserved to be in hell with him for what they had done. May's hands clenched around the program she was holding, her body tense, almost trembling, as sweat formed on her brow. Kai's mother pointed directly at her, declaring that she would reveal the truth about the kind of woman she was to everyone present. She took a step forward, but Kai quickly intervened, telling her that this was not the time. He reminded her that this was a time to pay respects to their father, and that even if he had been a bad person, there must have been some good in him. But Kai's mother's eyes were sharp and unwavering as she insisted there was nothing good to say about the devil. She returned to her seat beside Leewei, leaving the room buzzing with murmurs and whispers. Leewei observed her silently, his mind calculating. He noted that he might not need to intervene himself with May and James. Here was someone whose hatred surpassed even his own. She would do the work for him, eliminating the need for his direct involvement. He could simply sit back, watch the drama unfold, and let her handle them completely while he stayed out of the spotlight. Meanwhile, Amara returned to the penthouse and found Momo busy getting ready, carefully fixing her makeup. Seeing Amara, Momo rushed over, her excitement bubbling over as she told her how glad she was that she was back. She shouted in delight that the boys were gone, leaving them the whole place to themselves. Moving closer, she added that now they could dance and walk around naked without worrying about being watched. Amara smiled at her friend, appreciating her energy and enthusiasm. She asked, curious, why Momo was preparing herself so thoroughly. Momo grinned widely, explaining that it was because they were going out. She insisted that they could not be in one of the most fun cities and just stay in without making the most of it. She reminded Amara that her boot camp was ending soon, and they would be returning to Shanghai. Amara hesitated, saying she wouldn't be able to go, but Momo pleaded with her, emphasizing how rare it was for them to do anything fun together. She reminded her that Amara was almost always either studying or with Leewei, and now was a chance to celebrate, to truly enjoy themselves, and they have to celebrate the fact that she was now finally with Ming. Amara looked at her, thinking over her words carefully. She realized Momo was right. They rarely spent time together like this anymore. With a small smile, she finally agreed, nodding that they would go out, but only for 2 hours, nothing more. Momo leapt with excitement, grabbed her hand, and led her toward the bedroom, urging her to get ready and make sure they looked stunning. Amara followed, feeling a rare spark of joy at the thought of a night just for fun, away from responsibilities, worries, and expectations.